This question is so well timed because we're just wrapping up our goals and metrics conversation for the year, but more specifically for the quarter. I mean, I think it's always good to have an idea of where you're headed for the year, but I think it's equally important to make sure that there's room and flexibility within that to be revisiting and making sure that you're still on target as you progress through the year so they become more clear for the quarter that's upcoming. Goals and metrics, at least for my team within Humi, we really talk about them across three key areas. So within the product squad, what is an individual given their role contributing to, and how are they helping that overall squad ship value to customers? What are we doing to level up our craft to help our peers within the UX team? And finally, what are we looking to improve or achieve personally, whether that be growth within the craft and towards a promotion, whether that be adopting a new skill or so on. So across these three layers, we're always looking to have those ladder up to the company's overall North Star metrics. For the purposes of this conversation, though, I'll just spend a little bit of time talking about the last two, the team or UX craft goals, as well as personal goals. So where we are in size as a team and where we are as a product organization, our UX focus for the year will be across three pillars: quality of what we're shipping, governance to make sure that we stay aligned as we continue to grow, and getting closer to customers. So closing the gap between the organization and employees, the end consumers of our product. So when we have these three pillars, it's a lot easier for my team to be able to identify where some of the roadblocks are in being able to ship, for example, great quality product, and therefore be able to hone in on what some of our objectives might be. So the goal setting exercise always starts with reflection. How have things been going over the last quarter? What do we think have been some of the impediments to our success? I'm a really big fan of the timeline retro, which we use on a quarterly basis to say, where were the high points and how do we continue to make more of those high points? And more importantly, what were some of the low points and what do we need to be able to do to clear the way to get rid of some of those low points and create more high points? And so from there, we identified what some impediments were, what some roadblocks were, and that's where our initiatives or our goals came from. Across each of these three buckets, what can we be doing to better improve quality, to ensure alignment through governance, and be able to disseminate research and information to the entire organization? We use the OKR framework within my organization when we talk about goal setting. So the OKR framework, there's a lot of conversation about there. There's a lot of documentation on how to use OKRs. The way in which we have come to use them is really to harness the opportunity to not just take a look at the objective and have it be very binary, did you meet that or not? But more importantly for me, it's the key results. What were the initiatives? What were the steps that you took to be able to achieve that objective? And that way, we're able to not only break down this objective into smaller chunks, but we're also able to have more fine tuned control over whether or not we're making progress. I think sometimes we think about OKRs and analyze the exact wording that we're using there and wanting to make sure at the end of the quarter we can go back and say, you 52% achieved success here. For me, it's not about that. For me, it's the outcomes will take care of themselves if you are a lot more intentional about how you want to get there. It's not whether or not you want to run a marathon. The marathon itself will take care of itself if you think strategically about the kind of shoes you're going to wear, if you're going to get off the couch 3 times a week, if you're going to join a training club. All of these steps ladder up and you will see success regardless of whether or not you make your sub time in that marathon. Just those initiatives and being able to achieve those things along the way is success and to be celebrated. And again, at the end of that quarter, you can go back and say, how did I do in my path to meeting this objective? Did I do the whole thing? Did I do some but not all? And if I didn't do all, how can I go back and try it again next time, thinking about those initiatives to meeting the overall objective?